Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Andrea and this is Beauty with Andy. So today I'm not going to be wearing any makeup, I'm not going to be putting on any makeup. This is a story time that I wanted to tell you. So yeah, we're just going to get into it. I'm just going to let you know that the only thing I've got on my skin is my skincare regime, so the Boots vitamin C that I've really been enjoying using. I even forgot to put my hyaluronic acid H2O boost serum on my face, so I'm not wearing that either, just the vitamin C from Boots moisturiser and also the eye gel, and also I'm wearing the Ole Henriksen radiant primer just to give myself a little bit of a boost because I am feeling crappy today. I have got to admit I have had the worst 24 hours, so let's get into it. So yeah, I've had the worst 24 hours. Yesterday I went to my mum's. To take her washing back and then put it on the maiden because she doesn't put things in the dryer, so I needed to put everything on the maiden that I'd washed for her. And then I stayed there for a little while because my neighbours were really banging and playing music really loud and I just didn't want to be here. And then in the afternoon I went to pay some bills for my mum and also to send that lipstick off that I'd sold to someone on Depop. That was fine. Then I went to Tesco, and when I was on my way home somebody had left. Do you know how you've got the tyres on the cars and you've got the like silver wheel trim? Somebody had left one of them on the street and I didn't see it. Because obviously I was just staring straight ahead on and I had my mask on, and with masks you can't really see a great deal. So I must have stepped into it somehow and it legged me up. And the next thing I know, it felt like I was in this slow motion. I was kind of like running and tripping at the same time. So I kind of put my hands out to break my fall. But I fell flat on my face, fell flat on my nose was throbbing, and then not long after, it was like a weird sensation. I've never suffered with nosebleeds or anything like that. It was a weird sensation. I felt like blood was gushing into the mask. I just wanted to show you, it's still bleeding a little bit. Can you see on the tip of the nose there? Let's clean it off. I just wanted to show you that bit though. So let's just clean that off. Right, so I've just got a cotton pad here. It's really sore. Right, so I got home, put the shopping down, and called 111 straight away. So if you live in the UK, that's a number to call to get like medical attention. Spoke to someone, they assessed me and they said that they would need to send an ambulance crew out. So I said fair enough, and they said well it can take like between from now till 2 hours, and I'm thinking okay, because they actually go to the people that need them most first. So only one person came and he assessed me, and he wasn't happy because I had no feeling on this side of the face. I couldn't feel anything. Today I feel fine. It might have been delayed shock or whatever, but I couldn't feel anything. And then on my right hand as well, I couldn't move it. I'm going to get into what the issue is in a second. So I couldn't move my right hand. I had grazes on my left hand and grazes to both my right and left knees. They're going to be badly bruised in a few days. They're already starting to bruise up now, but like bruises can take a little while to form. I think the worst part of it was hitting my nose. I'm thinking, oh my god, please don't let it be broken. Because obviously I don't want a broken face. And then, you know, I could have handled a broken hand, but to actually have a broken nose, I just didn't want it. Anyway, called the ambulance. The ambulance came. He was really nice. He did all my observations. My blood pressure, yeah, my blood pressure was quite high, but he said that's to be expected when you have an accident like that. Your body kind of goes into shock, and it basically raises your temperature, and also it can raise, obviously, your blood pressure. And so I said okay. Took my temperature was absolute fine. It was below what it should be. And then he said the only thing we can do now really is send you to the hospital. Normally they would take you to the hospital, but I think because of COVID-19 they don't do that anymore. He said, if we called an ambulance for you, do you think you'd be able to get into it, or do you have someone that can take you? And I said, I don't know anyone that can take me to the hospital. And they said, well, I can get an ambulance for you there, but we can't get an ambulance for you back. You'd have to make your own way back. And I thought, fair enough. I just want to get checked out, make sure that everything's okay. Not necessarily for my hand, mainly for my nose, just to make sure that there wasn't any problems. So off I went to the hospital. When I got to the hospital, this is where it all started to go wrong. The ambulance guy, I kind of do that to him. It hurts a little bit, but I do that to him. His name was Jason. I don't think he'd ever watch this, but I really do appreciate everything that he did. So yeah, when it comes to the hospital itself, I'm really not happy. Normally the hospital are really good, I've got to admit, but I've had more experience with haematology, neurology from my mum, so actually wards and ward staff rather than accident and emergency staff, and I can fully appreciate they have a hard time from patients, but I'm not one of those people that will give a person a hard time. So they send you to the porter cabin to get your temperature measured, and make sure that everything's okay, and then they'll give you a ticket to actually go into the hospital. So off I go along to the porter cabin, not thinking that there's an issue because I've just had my temperature done about an hour ago, and everything was fine. So they did my temperature and they said it was borderline. It was, I think, 37. Yeah, it was 37. And basically they took all my details, and then they said, because you're borderline, we can't let you into the hospital. And I said, what? And I said, so? And they said, so you're gonna have to wait outside. This was getting quite late at night by this point. This was like 8 o'clock at night, and we all know how like the weather turns and gets a lot cooler in the evening. And I only basically had a kind of like waistcoat on and the jumper on my jeans. I didn't have a proper coat on. So they made it sound like the doctor was going to call me back straight away. So I was waiting for a doctor's call for 2.5 hours, guys. 2.5 hours. And I'm like, what the hell is... So I'm like, what the hell is going on? It got to an hour and I was feeling so fed up. So I saw a receptionist come out, and I was nice. I just said, look, can you find out when I'm going to get seen, please? I've been out here now over an hour, and I was told I was going to get a phone call straight away. And she said, what's your name? And I'm like, telling her my name, and she's like, okay. So about 15-20 minutes later, she looked at a clipboard and went back inside. And then about 10 more minutes later, she walked past me and she went, so the doctor's going to call you soon. And I said, I was told that an hour and a half ago. And she said, yeah, well, he'll do it as quick as he can. That's all he can do. And I said, well, it's not you stood outside here, is it? And she just looked at me. I mean, I didn't want to lose my temper with anyone. You know, all I wanted is to be in the warmth because it was absolutely freezing cold. The weather report said it was going to rain, so I had that to like basically contend with. And you know, I wouldn't have even minded waiting inside, waiting in a room by myself, I would have preferred that than being stood outside in the freezing cold. I'd hurt my legs as well, so I was barely standing up straight. Yeah, I just couldn't understand how they can make people wait outside. Sorry, it's itchy. How they could make people wait outside like dogs. I mean, I wouldn't even put a dog outside for 2.5 hours, would you? I mean, it's like, that is just extreme. I mean, my mum, when she went into hospital, was seriously ill. Now, she would have had a high temperature when she went in hospital. Would they have left her on a gurney outside and treated her outside? I don't think so. So I was really, really angry, and I'm still really, really angry, to be honest. This is like my outlet point, so I really hope you don't mind me filming this story time. I guess if you didn't want to hear it, you wouldn't even be clicking on this video. For those of you that are, thank you. So that happened, and then an hour later I gets a call from the doctor, and he was, I couldn't really understand what he was saying to me. I don't know where he was from, but I couldn't understand what he was saying. It sounded like he was saying, so we can't see you in the hospital today. So that just made me blew my gasket, basically. I said, what? So I've been waiting outside for the last 2 hours for nothing, and you're saying you can't see me today? And he said, what's wrong? And I said, well, I'm freezing cold. And he's like, well, how can I help with that? Really, really arrogant. And I'm like, well, I need to see a doctor. I've got grazes on my hands. I think I've broken one of my hands. I've got grazes on my legs. I've bumped my nose. And he's like, just come to room 5. And I'm like, I don't know where room 5 is. So I spoke to a nurse, and the nurse was just as arrogant. I said, can you tell me where room 5 is, please? And she went, just down there. And I'm like, oh my God. So I was having a really, really hard time with accident and emergency. I have never, ever, ever in my life dealt with doctors and nurses like that. Now, I don't know if they're like that because of the whole situation that we're in, but they didn't need to leave me outside like a pet. What they could have done is found a room. I mean, some of them rooms, consulting rooms, I did notice that some of them was free, so they could have stuck me in one of those rooms like they did when I went to haematology and my temperature was high. They just put me in an isolation room. They've got to have isolation room for COVID-19 patients, but they just didn't do it. They just made me wait outside until the doctor was ready to see me. I mean, if this were the case, the way the nurses were saying in the actual cabin when I first originally got there, that I wouldn't be waiting long, that the doctor would be seeing me like more or less straight away. If I would have known that I was waiting around for 2.5 hours, I probably would have gone. But I did want to make sure that there was no serious issues with my face, like particularly my nose where I bumped it. And I couldn't really move my right hand that great. The mobility in my right hand wasn't great. I found out later it's just a really bad sprain. I had an x-ray on it, so it's just a really bad sprain. I don't think I'll be making makeup videos for a while, but I have got quite a lot on the channel anyway, so it's not really going to be an impact for the channel. I'm not too sure if I'll be able to do a shop my stash on Monday as I would normally. If I can't do it, then this video will be going up on Monday, this story time video, and you'll know why. I have put an Instagram post on both my Instagrams, so Beauty with Andrea _ and Let's Use This Makeup _ I had to think about that one because it's a long one, so I have kind of let you all know what the situation is. But for those of you that aren't following me on Instagram, why not follow me? Shameless plug. So yeah, I do post quite regular there as well as on YouTube. So I did do a little post on there today, so I might not be able to do that Shop My Stash, which I'm gutted about because I really enjoyed doing it, and I know that some of you really enjoy watching me go through my makeup collection. But I will put a new one up as soon as I possibly can, because like my right hand is my most dominant hand. I can't do a lot of things. So makeup tutorials are out, Shop My Stashes are out, story times are okay because I can just sit here and talk to you. But yeah, I mean, really didn't enjoy the way I was spoken to at the hospital. The consultant was really arrogant with me as well. Like I went down for the x-ray and he said, it's not broken, and I said, it hurts so much though, and he went, well yeah, that's because you've sprained it and it's a real bad sprain. And I'm like, okay. And I expected him to bandage it up because like I sprained my wrist in the past. Yeah, I expect them to bandage it up because I have sprained my wrist in the past, but they didn't do that. They just basically sent me on my merry way with, it's ridiculous, with basically leaflets about face injuries, especially a nose injury, and like hand injuries and things like that. I've not even read the leaflets, and the best thing of all, well it's not the best thing, is this: they gave me some painkillers. He said, I'll give you some painkillers, and I said, okay, they're not going to clash with the other tablets I'm on, are they? And he said, no, they'll be fine. And I don't know what I was expecting, and they was naproxen. Naproxen, if you watched my videos when I had those tension headaches, the doctors gave me naproxen then, and they're known to clash with the medication that I'm on. So he didn't even bother checking to see if they would clash. He just wanted me out of his office. I didn't, in my opinion, he didn't really give me a full examination, probably because I shouted at him before I went in there, which I'm not proud of, but I mean at the end of the day it sounded like they'd left me out there for 2 hours, and well 2.5 hours, and they just basically wasn't going to see me. So yeah, I was really pissed off about that. I'm feeling a bit better today. I am struggling, like my nose is kind of like swollen. I mean, I don't know if you guys would be able to see it, but yeah, it's just really swollen. It's not normally that bad, but it's not to the point where you can think, oh, she's smacked her nose. It's just really swollen, and it feels a little bit congested as well. So my right hand's not too bad. I can like rotate it a lot better than I could yesterday. It's still pretty sore. I've been able to do the parts, so I'm hoping over the next few days it's going to get better. It can't really get any worse, can it? And I'll be able to do my Shop My Stash. And then this hand today, this left hand, is actually feeling worse. It's just because I've got those grazes on them, really. I mean, that's what I did, and it could have been so worse. Could have been. I don't know. I think I had someone looking out for me, because I mean, even though I got injured quite bad, it could have been so much worse. I could have completely smashed my face in, and needed surgery on it. That's the worst case scenario, isn't it? I could have had broken wrists, broken legs, but I don't have any of that. They're just grazes that basically need to heal, which won't take more than a week to heal. I'm more concerned about my nose because it is quite swollen. Normally with nose injuries as well, I work with somebody who got into a really bad fight, and they had a busted nose and they had really bad black eyes. I think it's because it's just here and underneath where I banged it, and not right at the top here. I think that's why they've not gone black, which thank heavens they haven't. I mean, I have way too many problems with under eye bags rather than black eyes, so I wouldn't have liked that. it's not really a funny video. I just wanted to share my experience with you, and I'm not calling anyone out, to be honest. I mean, I understand that the NH staff go through so much on a daily basis, and I'm appreciative of what they do. But yesterday when I went to A&E, I got a really hard time from that NHS staff. Quite a few members, and even when I went into the receptionist, like to try and find a room, I just said, where's room 5? And the receptionist looked at me and she carried on talking to a friend. So I'm like, hang on a minute, you know, you're not there to be chatting like that, you're there to be helping patients. So I just ignored her and tried to find the room, and that's when I came across that other nurse, and she was just as rude, and then the doctor was rude, so it wasn't really a good experience. I mean, you know, it's not like it's a completely free service. I mean, in the UK, this is what we pay our national insurance for, to get good healthcare, and that wasn't good healthcare yesterday. It was absolutely shocking healthcare. This is why I'm making this video. I'm not going to name and shame that hospital, because I don't believe that everyone, every nurse, every doctor, every consultant in that hospital are such arrogant people. I just believe that for some reason yesterday, everyone that I spoke to was like that. Maybe it was a bad day for some of them, I don't know, but don't talk to patients like that, and leaving them out in the cold, that is the worst thing that you can do to someone who already feels shitty. Leaving them out in the cold. I mean, I was shivering out there. It's like, I can't believe they're doing this to me. It got to the point where like the 2.5 hour mark had passed, and tears were rolling down my eyes because I was in pain, and you know, I was crying. You know, it's like I just want to see a doctor, and then I want to go home, I want to go to bed, I want to go to sleep, and I just want to forget about this day. So yeah, it was a terrible day for me yesterday. But hopefully today is going to be better. My mum's going to be coming home later this evening, so I've got that to look forward to. There's just not a lot I can do for her, unfortunately, because like my hands, maybe I can like do something with my left hand. She needs my help with this CPAP machine, and it is kind of, I can bend my fingers and things, so hopefully I'll be able to help her. So really guys, this concludes the video. I just wanted to tell you about my shocking experience with the hospital yesterday. And like I said, it's not to call anyone out for being like that towards me. For the most part of the hospital staff, I've just had a really good experience with. Even when I went to my haematology appointment, there was a couple of nurses that came in, really nice. And then the doctor was really nice as well. And then of course when my mum went into hospital, I couldn't go and see her, but the nurses and the ward staff were so nice to me and tried to reassure me as best as they could that they were looking after my mum. So that's everyone on wards. It seems to be completely different when it actually comes to A&E. I think they're probably getting, you know, I mean, late at night as well, they're probably getting a lot of drunks, and it's just probably really pissing them off. But I'm not a drunk, I just had a nasty accident and I just needed some help, and I don't feel like I got the help. So I'm going to leave this here because it's quite a negative video, and I don't really like putting too many negative videos on the channel. I would say hope you've enjoyed it, but I mean, it's not one of those stories that anyone could enjoy. It was just a really terrible experience, as I keep saying in this video. So let's conclude this video here. Please like, please subscribe, please share, please comment, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.